So I saw Wonder Man, and now I wonder. Hey everyone, how's it going? I saw Wonder Man on Disney Plus. You know, because my kid is obsessed with Mickey Mouse, I have to have Disney Plus. What are you going to do, right? Anyway, I know Wizard keeps telling me to cancel Disney Plus, but you don't know the aggression of a 7-year-old. Especially on my 55-year-old frame. But I was going to pass on Wonder Man, and then two of my favorite critics gave it some pretty good reviews. First off, Real Life Fake Wizard. And of course, our friend Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters.
Following is a World Class Bullshitters exclusive.
So I would not have watched this unless, I saw those glaring reviews. And then I watched it and I'm like, what? This was awful. And I couldn't figure it out because it had Real Life Fake Wizard and Jeff Hicks turned chill? Oh my god, no! But then I remembered something they both said in their reviews.
There's also a massive exploration of Hollywood and Hollywood culture in this. In years past, I spent an extremely brief amount of time in the belly of the Hollywood beast, and I literally fled from there, okay? That place sucks. I saw how superficial the actor's world is. This show does a great job of not only capturing that, but mocking the crap out of it.
Another thing that hits home for me is how accurate the depiction of Hollywood felt. I used to live in LA. I dated an aspiring actress. I've seen the desperation. I've seen the self-tapes, the fake optimism, the fear of being exposed. Wonder Man nailed that world accurately.
And this is something I can fully understand from both of them. They spent time in Hollywood. They know that world. I know two things about that world, Jack and shit and Jack left town. Okay? And honestly, I don't care to learn it. I do know that there was a lot of things here I was just kind of going, this is dull. This is myopic. And now I know why. Now, that's the thing. If you have the framework to understand that world, this probably would be good. There probably are things that will make you laugh hysterically. But again, I think the failure of the show is right here. Because these two guys, really smart guys, really intelligent, really know how to critique a film or a TV show or what have you. They came back and they said it was good. I watched it, I thought it was bad. Because I can't relate. And I'm gonna say that's the failure of this series. Because it's not written in a way a normie can understand it. Because as far as the Hollywood world goes, I'm a normie. It would be like me trying to tell you to, go watch Avengers Endgame without all the beginning. I grant you, I'd still argue there's only 10 films you need to watch. But without those 10 films, you're not going to have a clue what's going on. And I think it's appropriate that I bring up an MCU example in that, because, again, it's a relatable thing. But it relates back to the failure of this show. Without having a framework that people can relate to, and I think it could be done, don't get me wrong. I think that framework could be built to where we understand the joke and how it's mocking things and how it's making fun of things and parodying things. People base their lives on that email and all that shit. I think that is very, very possible in this framework of Wonder Man with his Wonder Bread. And I'm not even concerning myself with the race swapping or anything like that. That is really a nothing burger to me. Now, there's nothing inherently horrible about this show. I actually argue, I think episode 4 is probably one of the best that they have. It's pretty decent, actually. Above decent, I'd say, good. But the rest of the show, I'm just kind of like, oh hum. That's the best I can give you, is oh hum. Because I honestly don't feel like this thing delivers on any kind of level. But it's because I don't understand that world. It's sort of like, to borrow another example, when you do a story about a mining town, there's things you're going to pick up on if you've lived in a mining town that a lot of people won't pick up on. So you have to think about that and relate it so that people can understand where you're coming from. This is why a lot of stories about mining towns don't make it, because they don't do those things. They just expect you to know. And guess what? The world don't work that way. We all come from different backgrounds and different places. There's a lot of stuff universally we can grab onto and hold on to and share and be happy with. Yeah. But there's a lot of things we don't know. And again, I think if you don't have that first-hand experience with the Hollywood world, this isn't going to land. And there's the problem. Because the people who wrote this were in Hollywood. They know these things. I mean, one of the biggest criticisms I saw about the show is in the very first episode, Simon, who plays a very big character on American Horror Story, way over-examines his character to the point he shuts down production. And my first thought, and apparently most people's first thought, is, aren't there people to rein him in and to say, hey, calm it down, let's shoot the scene? And then he keeps on doing it, and that's when he's written out of the show. That didn't happen that I saw. Maybe I'm wrong? I don't know. But I definitely did not see it. So if that kind of a detail is going to be missed, and here I am an outsider, I know something like that would happen. And the people who are making the show, they gotta know that's gonna happen. So if I'm an outsider and I've already spotted this glaring flaw, that's a problem. Again, now I will say, Ben Kingsley, his whole way through, that was the most interesting part, was finding out what happened to Trevor Slattery. That was it. That was the part worth watching. And that elevated the whole damn show. And it's funny, I kind of like Trevor now. It's like, I really hated that character in Iron Man 3, but I really kind of like that character now. Shang-Chi, he was just kind of comic relief. But here, he actually does stuff and means stuff. But, and I don't hate Simon Williams' Wonder Man either. I mean, he's not a terrible character. Not quite what I would want in a Wonder Man series. But you know what? Wonder Man was always niche anyway. I remember the Wonder Man comic coming out in the 90s. It was weird, to say the least. I mean, it was hard to read through. And honestly, most people gave up after issue 1. I held on to it for about, I can't even remember how long the thing was published. I might have made it to the end, I'm not sure, because it didn't last that long. And, another thing, let's just face it, Wonder Man as a character is not getting used too much. He's a reserve Avenger at this point. So, with that in mind, it's kind of a miracle he ever got a TV show at all. But he did. It makes you wonder. Pun intended. So, with that, I'm going to throw in the caveat. If you understand that world, if you've been in that world of Hollywood fame and fortune and, just seen it a little bit, you'll get the struggling actor jokes and blah, blah, blah. If you've not, it'll probably go over your head and you'll be sitting there going, why am I watching this? Because, yeah, it's that kind of a show. It's kind of like either you understand it or you're like me and you don't. I think that is the best praise I can give it, is that, yes, is it at least competent? Yeah, I can see the competency in here. Minus the one flaw I mentioned just a minute ago about the first episode in American Horror Story. Yeah, for the most part, most of this is pretty competent. It's also kind of boring. And I realize we're not supposed to... And I realize Simon is not a person we're supposed to be rooting for, which I think is an odd choice because he's a very relatable character in the comic, and you often root for him. But this time he's not. And, that's a bit of a problem. But also, you don't end up hating the character necessarily. I mean, some might, but I don't. And I think with that in mind, Give it a try. I don't think it's really worth the effort, but some people have said it is. It's been one of the more interesting discussions about Marvel shows I have seen in a while. A lot of people aren't discussing it, and those that are, it's been pretty interesting. Again, it seems if you have exposure to that world, you get it. And I think that's where the problem lies, is that that's a small amount of people. Okay, thank you for listening to my rambling. You guys take care and have a good day.